Welcome to Southwest Desert, where adventure meets the arid beauty of the American Southwest. Join us as we explore the rugged landscapes, uncover hidden historical gems, and dive deep into the rich legends and culture of this iconic region. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our latest desert adventures. Please leave a like or comment. This is very helpful. Let's journey together into the heart of the Southwest Desert. Imagine being trapped on a sinking ship off the Mexican coast, your dreams of fortune seemingly drowning with it. Then picture yourself creating an entire city with nothing but sticks, stones, and string, just to avoid paying a ferry toll. Finally, envision building a 1,000-person boomtown where you're not just the mayor, you're the judge, the wedding officiant, and even have the power to declare war. This isn't the plot of a Western novel. This is the true story of Charles Poston, the man who would become known as the father of Arizona. Welcome to Southwest Desert, where we uncover the most fascinating untold stories of the American Southwest. Today, we're diving into the incredible life of a man whose story reads like a blend of The Count of Monte Cristo and Tombstone, Charles Poston, a Kentucky orphan who would go on to shape the destiny of an entire territory. The year is 1825, and in Hardin County, Kentucky, the same region that produced Abraham Lincoln, a baby boy is born who would one day transform the southwestern frontier. Charles Poston's early life was marked by tragedy when he was orphaned at age 12. But like many great American stories, this one begins with a young man determined to make his mark on the world. He studied law, became a practicing attorney, and even crossed paths with the future President Lincoln. He married and had a daughter, but the call of adventure proved stronger than domestic life. When gold fever struck, he left his family with relatives and headed west. Unlike most fortune seekers, Poston didn't head straight for the gold fields. Instead, he secured a position as chief clerk in the San Francisco Custom House. It was here that fate dealt him an intriguing hand. He began working for the agent of General Agustino de Iturbide's family, who claimed a massive land grant in the newly acquired territory of Arizona. On December 31st, 1853, just one day after the signing of the Gadsden Purchase, Poston embarked on what would become one of the most daring expeditions in southwestern history. Leading a 30-man party that included mining engineers and the brilliant Christian Hermann Ehrenberg, he set sail from San Francisco. But the journey quickly turned into a nightmare. Their ship was blown off course and crashed against the rocks. The crew barely escaped with their lives before watching their vessel sink into the depths. But this was just the beginning of their troubles. They found themselves in a Mexico still bitter about its recent land losses to the United States, requiring delicate negotiations just to continue their journey. Despite these setbacks, the expedition proved fruitful. They located old Mexican silver mines, collected specimens of gold, silver, and copper, and discovered decaying missionary churches. Though they failed to locate the exact boundaries of the Iturbide Grant, these discoveries would prove valuable for future development. When the expedition finally reached the Colorado River, they encountered Louis J.F. Yeager, who operated a ferry service with prices so high they might as well have been highway robbery. Yeager justified his rates by citing the constant risk of Indian attacks. Rather than pay the exorbitant toll, Poston did something extraordinary. He founded a city. Using nothing but sticks, stones, and string, he laid out an entire town plan right there on the spot. Streets, a town square, pier areas, all marked out in the dust. Then, in a stroke of genius, he convinced Yeager himself to buy parcels of this instant city. The plan worked so well that they sold additional lots in California, turning what could have been a costly setback into a profitable venture for the entire expedition. But the story of Colorado City, as it was called, remains disputed to this day. Some claim it became modern-day Yuma, while others insist it was merely a temporary tent town further north. Whatever its ultimate fate, it demonstrated Poston's remarkable ability to turn obstacles into opportunities. In 1856, Poston embarked on his most ambitious venture yet, a 4-month journey covering 762 miles that would lead to the establishment of Tubac. The journey itself was an adventure worthy of a novel. It began in luxury, with French chefs preparing meals at the first military fort, but soon devolved into a grueling trek marked by Apache skirmishes and constant rain. The party stopped in Tucson for 2 weeks, coinciding with the St. Augustine Festival, before pressing on to their final destination. The choice of Tubac wasn't random. Located at the base of the Santa Rita Mountains, the site offered both defensive capabilities and proximity to mining operations, while maintaining a reasonable distance from Apache threats. The settlement began in an abandoned Spanish presidio, but under Poston's leadership it would become something extraordinary. The transformation of Tubac was remarkable. They cleaned the crumbling adobe fort, repaired buildings and corrals, replaced windows and doors, and built furniture from local lumber. They even established vegetable gardens to sustain the community. But it was the discovery of silver that would truly put Tubac on the map. The nearby silver deposits were yielding over $100 daily, and the discovery of the Heinzelman mine in Arivaca promised even greater riches. The settlement attracted skilled Mexican miners, and by Christmas of that same year, the population had swelled to over 1,000 residents. Poston's innovative spirit showed itself in the creation of a unique currency system. Paper money was made redeemable in silver, with each denomination featuring a different animal: a calf for 25 cents, a rooster for 50 cents, a horse for $1, and a lion for $10. Life in Tubac was far from the rough-and-tumble existence you might expect in a frontier mining town. Thanks to the presence of Mexican señoritas and a multicultural population speaking Spanish and various European languages, the settlement developed a surprisingly sophisticated culture. Evenings were filled with music and festivities, and good meals and conversation were the norm. But what made Tubac truly unique was Poston's role. He wasn't just the town's founder, he was its everything. He officiated weddings, granted divorces, had the power to execute criminals, and could even declare war. He was, in every sense, the king of his own small kingdom. However, paradise wouldn't last forever. The settlement faced mounting challenges: Apache conflicts under Cochise, triggered by unfortunate encounters between settlers and the military, a Mexican uprising, and the devastating impact of the Civil War, which recalled the garrison soldiers. The death of Poston's brother John at the Heinzelman mine was a personal tragedy that coincided with the community's decline. Women and children were evacuated to Tucson, and over $1 million in assets were abandoned to the desert. Farms that had been carefully cultivated returned to their natural state. But Poston wasn't finished with Arizona. He turned his attention to a greater goal: creating the Arizona Territory itself. The political process was fraught with challenges, including multiple failed congressional bills and complications from the slavery issue. The territory's distance from the New Mexican territorial government made administration difficult, but the Civil War actually worked in their favor. The Union desperately needed new sources of gold and silver. With General Heinzelman's influence with Lincoln and Poston's first-hand knowledge of the region, the pieces began falling into place. After a crucial meeting with President Lincoln and some persuasive testimony before Congress, success was finally achieved. On February 24, 1863, the Arizona Territory was officially created. Though initially overlooked for territorial positions, Poston was appointed Superintendent of Indian Affairs. He approached the role with characteristic creativity and compassion, traveling with gifts for tribes and bringing along a San Francisco friend to observe the living conditions of the Native Americans. His development plans were ambitious. He proposed a Colorado River reservation system and canal irrigation based on ancient Indian methods. In Congress, he presented over 10 territorial resolutions, and while his Indian programs met with limited success, he did secure some funding for farming equipment. Poston's quest for knowledge and innovation led him on an extraordinary international journey. Commissioned by the Secretary of State to study irrigation and immigration practices, he traveled across Asia, meeting with an impressive array of world leaders: the Emperor of China, the Mikado of Japan, the Viceroy of India, the Khedive of Egypt, the Sultan of Turkey, and the Shah of Persia. But it was his encounter with the Parsis in India and his subsequent interest in Zoroastrianism that would prove both enlightening and costly. His commission was withdrawn due to his increasing focus on religion. Returning to Arizona, Poston took up a position as Register of Land in Florence, working from a small adobe office for a modest salary. During his 4-year tenure, he became fascinated by a pyramid-shaped hill where he discovered ancient stone tower ruins. At his own expense, he built an access road to the site and hosted celebratory events, convinced of connections between this location and Persian culture. The final years of the father of Arizona were marked by decline. He worked as a customs officer at the Mexican border and at a Phoenix agricultural experiment station, living in near poverty and surviving on a $25 monthly pension from the legislature. When he died in June 1902 at age 75, his body was initially unclaimed, a sad commentary on how far the mighty had fallen. But the community, reminded of his contributions through a newspaper appeal, rallied to provide him a fitting memorial. 23 years after his death, a stone pyramid tomb was built on a hill in Florence, where his remains were finally laid to rest. It stands today as a testament to a man who was many things: an adventurer, a city builder, a territorial founder, and a dreamer who saw possibility in the harsh Arizona desert. Charles Poston's story reminds us that the American West wasn't just built by gunfighters and gold miners, but by visionaries who could see cities in the dust and civilization in the wilderness. His life reads like fiction, but every incredible turn was real, shaped by determination, innovation, and an unshakable belief in the potential of the Arizona territory. This has been Southwest Desert. Join us next time as we uncover another remarkable tale from the American Southwest. Until then, remember, sometimes the most extraordinary stories are the ones that history almost forgot. Check out my large Southwest catalog of videos and playlists on historical tales, legends, lost gold stories, and adult bedtime stories. Happy trails! Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.